I guess because I know my rights.
Yeah.
I really know my rights. Like, yeah, but for someone who doesn't know their rights,
Intimidating.
it's very intimidating.
Yeah, well, that's what I found on the day, and it was an inspirational day. I thought it was, it was very moving when we walked all the way through the city to a park, and everyone took to one knee. And
it was all timed all over around the world.
Yeah,
they had rallies all over the world.
Yeah, it was powerful, and I thought people would buy into that, and it was a wake up call, and I think some people would sort of open their eyes to what's going on, because it was a worldwide movement, wasn't it? From one incident that people, okay, enough is enough, and we're going to stop that. You referenced in your second book, Cops are Crooks. I think you
when cops are criminals, mate.
When cops are criminals,
yeah.
Okay,
crooks.
Cops are crooks. Yeah,
that too.
When in that, I think you talked about an incident here at Redfern where a young fella had his feet swept out.
Yeah, and there was footage of that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm emphasising. If there wasn't footage of that,
yeah,
we wouldn't know about it, right? You know that we, you know, I've had family members who have been assaulted by police and flogged up, and back in the day prior to mobile phones where they could film it. And when they say it, it's not believed. You know, we believe you. We believe the family members. But unless you have hard evidence, it goes nowhere.
Yeah. And with that incident, I remember, again, I wasn't that long out of the cops, and working for the Sunday Telegraph, and they asked me to write an article. And I knew I'd get asked, like, who's better to write, a cop and someone that understands to a degree the Indigenous issues. And it was I didn't want to write it, because I thought, which side do I take here? But I was happy with the article. But one thing that I said with that, because I don't like seeing things escalate, and I knew how the cops would feel if the cop was charged and convicted. They'll be angry, and they'll look at it was their fault, and then the Indigenous community would look, if the cop doesn't get charged, they'll get angry. I made a suggestion in the article. I don't think it was taken seriously, but I've spoken to a few people, and they agreed it wasn't a bad way of dealing with it. What if it was a young guy? What if you got two families together and sat down and actually had a barbecue? Like, as ridiculous as it sounds, and just try and think outside the square, instead of having that division. It doesn't mean that the person, if for the assault, shouldn't be accountable, but try to break down the barriers. What do you think of that sort of response?
So the family of the cop?
Family of the cops and the black fellas come together, because they've done some of that at Redfern, where they've got that boxing, Shane Phillips, tribal warrior, clean slate without prejudice, and it just breaks down the barriers.
Yeah, righto.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I have no faith in that, really.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be trying. So,
I think
as a copper, as a black copper, or the black copper,
yeah,
I was invited to have these barbecues.
Yeah.
And no one spoke to me and all my family and kids.
Right.
Okay, so I wouldn't want my community members to go to the barbecues.
Yeah.
If they could treat one of their own like that, I was blue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try not to swear here,
No, you can swear.
How the fuck are they treating my people?
Yeah.
You know, and also, I'm trying to move away from police language.
Yes.
But I kind of, when I'm talking to you as a former cop and other former cops, I find myself back in...
Fall back in that.
Yeah, because it's the language of policing and...
Yeah.
Yeah, but So I'm trying not to go back and use them. But I will. I just find myself ending up talking like a former cop or a cop.
Yeah.
And I don't want to use the language. I don't want to reinforce language.
It's clearly, we'll talk about it, but you've been scarred from it and damaged from your experience in the cops.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to. I want the listeners and the viewers to know that when I was a cop for 10 years, I was complicit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the first one to put my hand up. I was just as bad. I was arresting people. I was chasing people. I was harming people.
Yeah.
You know, I was involved in police pursuits. Because someone else's stolen vehicle meant more.
So if you want to see more, go into my community page, and there's two parts of this
which is
full
wrong.
story, it's true story.
That's right.